My son, my daughter, I bring you now the awareness that this moment is not ordinary, not a random pause in your day, but a direct intervention of my spirit upon your path. Today, right now, as you listen to this word, the heavens are moving toward you with such perfect precision that no opposing force can impede what I have ordained. Breathe deeply, for the day I have marked to change your course has arrived, and it begins within your heart before manifesting around you. Something magnificent is being released upon your life, something that does not originate from your strength, does not depend on your connections, and does not come from human efforts, but proceeds from my sovereign will. I tell you that this is the day when barriers begin to lose their power, when the weight you have carried for so long begins to dissolve like mist before my light. You don't understand yet, but I have already moved pieces, aligned paths, broken down resistances that previously prevented you from moving forward. Today, as I reach you with this word, the atmosphere surrounding your story changes silently, like someone changing seasons without fanfare, but with authority. You think you are only hearing a message, but you are entering a spiritual environment prepared exclusively for you, where divine guidance begins to open up space within your mind. My son, my daughter, I am descending upon you like a wind that cleanses the air, like a light that reveals what was once hidden, like a touch that calms inner storms. Nothing you have experienced has surprised me, and nothing you will face will surpass what I am preparing. This is the time when my presence envelops you more intensely, more deeply, and more truly than you could have imagined in the days when you felt alone. I did not bring you here to give you another burden, but to lighten what you have already carried. I did not let you come across this word by chance. I brought you here because you needed to hear the confirmation that your new cycle begins now. I am opening your understanding so that you may perceive the greatness of what I have placed before you. Do not look back, trying to measure my power by what you have experienced, because what I will do will be greater than any reference you may have. You are entering a zone of revelation where I show you that the impossible is no obstacle for me. I feel your weariness. I see your doubts. I recognize your effort to remain standing even when you thought of giving up. And that is why today I envelop you with this presence that renews and strengthens. You are not only hearing with your ears, your spirit is receiving instructions that will change your perception, your posture, and your journey. I want you to understand that this is the day the sky bends down upon you with intention and purpose. Cycles are closing, roots are being uprooted, doors are beginning to open, even if you don't yet see them clearly. The movement has already begun, and it will not be interrupted. My hand is upon you, guiding you and preparing you for everything I have designed from the beginning. Nothing can block what I have determined. Nothing can prevent what I have released. This is the beginning of a time marked by my presence, a time when you will walk with more lightness, more clarity, and more confidence. And now, as you receive this word, allow your heart to open to the recognition of what I am doing, because making my work visible begins with your willingness to believe. Comment now. I welcome this day as marked by God. Let your declaration open a space within you, because what I am beginning today will be strengthened by your faith. Heaven has already moved in your favor, and this is only the beginning of what I have prepared for you. My son, my daughter, listen to what I say to your spirit at this moment, because nothing that is happening now is a coincidence. You did not arrive here by chance. You did not stumble upon this word as one bumps into something random on the road. I led you to this moment with purpose, intention, and care. Even before you thought of seeking an answer, even before you felt the weight that brought you here, I had already prepared this encounter. Every detail, every inner sensation, every movement of your heart was aligned so that you would be exactly where you are now. I brought you here because this message carries a direction that is exclusively yours. I know your searches, your silences, your questions that you never verbalized. I know when your soul tried to ask for help without knowing how to express it. And that is why I opened a path for you to be reached by this revelation. There are words that no one has ever spoken to you, but that I have always wanted to tell you. And today, they reach you, not by human force, but by my decision to visit you spiritually. Do not underestimate what you are receiving, because it is not just another message among many, but the direct answer to the anxieties you have carried in secret. I built you, I formed you, and I know exactly which word penetrates deepest into your spirit. You have been asking for direction, clarity, signs that confirm I am still with you. And this is the confirmation you have been waiting for. I have not turned away and have never stopped watching over you with love. Even when you felt lost, I was preparing paths your eyes could not see. Now, as you listen, your soul begins to perceive that something is being touched within you, something that has never been fully understood, but that has always existed. The call of my presence. You are not facing random content. You are facing a spiritual summons. I brought you here because you are important to me, and because you are entering a time when you need to hear my voice more clearly than ever before. I wrote this revelation for you even before you knew you would seek it. Before your mind formulated questions, I had already prepared the answers. And before the weight of the last few weeks fell upon your shoulders, I had already decided to renew your strength. Nothing that happened took you off the path I designed. On the contrary, each step, each challenge, and even each tear served as trails that brought you to this moment. And here, now, I tell you, this word has your name, your spiritual address, your exact moment. It comes to awaken you, align you, and remind you that you are deeply loved and protected by me. Therefore, stay with me until the end of this message. There are instructions that cannot be heard halfway. There are revelations that can only be understood when the heart is fully surrendered. And there are blessings that only manifest when you receive the totality of what I am saying. Nothing in this encounter is accidental. You were drawn by my hand, and I am speaking to you directly and personally. There are things that will adjust within you as you move forward. There are perceptions that will change. There are wounds that will begin to heal. There are fears that will lose their power. And there are answers that will finally make sense. Now, open your heart to perceive the seriousness of what is happening. You have been included in a spiritual movement that is not limited to what your eyes see. I am preparing you for the next steps, and it all begins with your understanding that you were chosen to receive this instruction. This message did not pass through your life by chance. It was sent by my Spirit directly to you. Share this message so it can reach another life that also needs to be reminded of my care. And while you do that, follow me, because there is still much I want to reveal to your heart. This is only the second part of what I have prepared for you, and the movement I started continues to grow within you, leading you to the purpose I designed from the beginning. My son, my daughter, now that your spirit has begun to awaken to the movement I have initiated in your life, I want you to understand the depth of what is being released. This revelation that reaches you is not small, it is not symbolic, it is not just a pretty word to comfort you. It carries spiritual weight, concrete direction, and transformative power. When I speak to you, I do not speak to emotionally move you in this moment. I speak to alter your course. What I am pouring out now touches areas that no one knows, inner environments that only you and I know exist, places in your heart that have remained silent for a long time. And it is precisely in these places that my light is entering, without resistance, without haste, but with absolute authority. This revelation will begin to reorganize your inner self. You will notice changes in your thoughts, your perceptions, and even in how you find the strength to deal with what previously exhausted you. When I release a word, it doesn't remain static. It moves, works, transforms. And this word that I place within you is penetrating deep layers of your soul, breaking old patterns, undoing confusions that tried to blind you, and restoring the clarity you had lost without realizing it. I am touching your mind, removing the inner chaos, aligning your vision, and opening your perception to see what was previously hidden by the fog of emotional exhaustion. You will feel my presence becoming more real, not just as a momentary sensation, but as the foundation that sustains your steps. I am removing the weight you have accumulated, relieving the tension that accompanied you, and introducing you to an experience of rest that does not come from circumstance, but from me. When you allow my word to enter, it expands your horizon. It shows you that you are not trapped by what you have lived, but are being prepared for what you are about to live. Everything around you may seem the same, but the internal structures that keep you standing are being renewed, strengthened, and aligned with the purpose I have written for your story. I want you to understand that the impact of this revelation will not be something that comes only in the distant future. It begins now, at this very moment when you receive my words. They are already producing movement within you, awakening courage, rekindling hope, and reinvigorating your faith. What once seemed extinguished is gaining color again. What once seemed distant is beginning to draw closer. What once seemed impossible is beginning to reorganize itself in my presence. I am removing the feeling of stagnation that accompanied you and placing a spiritual impulse that will make you advance where you previously hesitated. Over the next few days, you will realize that situations that previously caused you anxiety will no longer have the same impact. You will feel a lightness that seemed unattainable. You will notice that your mind will be clearer, your feelings more stable, and your heart more sensitive to my voice. This is a direct result of the revelation I am releasing. It guides you, prepares you, and strengthens you. And even in moments when you are not aware of it, it will continue working within you, like a flame that never goes out, like a seed that grows silently until it breaks through the earth. But I want you to know, this is only the beginning. The revelation I have begun here is the door that leads you to everything that will come next. Therefore, keep your heart attentive, awake, inclined to what I am yet to tell you. There are deeper waters to dive into, clearer instructions to receive, promises to experience. My intention is not only to comfort you, but to transform you. If this message resonates with you, like and subscribe to continue receiving the content I prepare for you. Now follow me, because the next part will reveal why you have gone through so many struggles and what the purpose is behind each one of them. My work in you is only beginning, and nothing can stop what I am about to accomplish within you. My son, my daughter, I see what no one else sees. Even before you tried to hide your weariness behind a smile, I already knew the weight that rested on your shoulders. I know the nights you lay exhausted, without the strength even to formulate a prayer, and yet your heart cried out in silence. I heard each of those pleas that never reached your lips. I saw every tear that fell without witnesses, every moment you tried to be strong so as not to worry anyone. Every time your soul faltered, trying to stay standing while everything around you seemed to crumble. You felt alone, but you were never truly alone. I was there when discouragement tried to swallow your hope, when heavy thoughts tried to convince you that nothing would change, when you felt you were carrying more than your strength could bear. I saw your weary steps, even when you insisted on continuing to walk without anyone noticing your pain. I watched you when your mind raced, searching for answers that wouldn't come, and when you wondered if you would ever find rest. I was present in every detail of your struggle, and not a single second of your suffering went unnoticed by me. I was near, so near, even when you believed I was far away. I know the emotional strain you're going through. I know the times you tried to be strong for others, but deep down, you just wanted someone who would be strong for you. I know how heavy your heart has become with so many responsibilities, so many worries, so many accumulated fears. I believe in you even when you doubt yourself. I see in you a courage that you yourself can't see, because you kept trying, even tired, even hurt, even insecure. And that's why today I speak directly to your spirit. You are not weak. You are just tired. And I am here to renew you. I understand when your soul is saddened for reasons you can't explain. Sometimes what consumes you isn't what you've lived through, but what you've accumulated for so long without anyone to share it with. I know the frustrated expectations, the disappointments you've kept deep inside, the words that hurt you, the silences that pained you. I know the inner places where you've kept grudges that no one ever knew about. And I know the fears you've hidden even from yourself. None of this distances me from you. On the contrary, it's precisely because of these pains that I approach you with even more tenderness. Because I don't judge you for feeling exhausted. I embrace you. You think that much of what you've lived through was invisible, that no one noticed your struggle, that your efforts went unnoticed, that your worth wasn't recognized. But I tell you, I saw every effort. I valued every step. I honored every attempt. And I count every moment of pain as part of building what I am about to do in you. Because your story doesn't end where your weariness reached you. I will not allow you to remain trapped in the exhaustion that weakened you. My hand sustains you. My gaze envelops you. My love restores you. I also know the moments when you felt confused, unsure whether to move forward, retreat, or remain still. Doubts surrounded you. Fears pressed upon you, and uncertainties tried to suffocate you. And yet, you continued. Even without understanding, you went on. Even wounded, you rose. Even crying, you still believed there was something beyond. And I saw all of that. Every time you chose to rise, you were answering my call. You don't call your progress small, because in my eyes, it is precious. Today, I bring you rest. I come to tell you that your weariness does not define who you are. I come to remind you that you were not created to carry the world on your shoulders, and that I never planned for you to face everything alone. I created you to walk with me, to share the burden with me, to find in me the shelter your soul so desperately seeks. You are seen, you are known, you are understood, and you are deeply loved. Here begins the healing I am performing within you, and nothing that has hurt you will have the power to stop what I am about to rebuild. You don't have a call to action in this part, because what I'm doing now is simply welcoming you, embracing you, and reminding you that your value remains intact. Here, my son, my daughter, just receive. My son, my daughter, now that your heart is calmer, I want to reveal something to you that perhaps you have never fully understood. Nothing you faced was by chance. You look back and find periods of pain, struggle, confusion, and exhaustion. And at times you believed that all of that was a punishment, or a failure of yours, or a sign that I had abandoned you. But today I tell you clearly, there was no punishment, no rejection, no abandonment. There was preparation. There was building. There was a purpose greater than you were able to perceive while living through each battle. I allowed certain paths, not because I wanted to hurt you, but because I needed to strengthen parts of you that would remain fragile if everything had been too easy. You asked for great, profound, and meaningful things, and to receive them, your spirit needed to be firmer than it was. I guided you through processes that shaped your character, broadened your faith, and made you more sensitive to my voice. You didn't realize it, but while you struggled, something inside you grew. You learned to discern. You learned to rise. You learned to listen. You learned to resist. And none of these virtues are born in comfortable surroundings. I saw you asking why certain doors closed, why people drifted away, why opportunities slipped away. I know many of these losses hurt you, and that the silence I maintained at certain times confused you. But I tell you, every closed door was protection. Every separation was liberation. Every silence was strategy. I freed you from paths that would have caused you to lose your essence. I removed you from situations that would have drained you. I interrupted cycles that would have prevented you from growing. You don't see the whole picture, but I see the whole. And I acted in your favor even when you didn't understand what was happening. Even the moments when you felt directionless had a purpose. They led you to seek me more intensely, taught you true dependence, showed you that strength without presence sustains no one. And it was precisely during these periods of uncertainty that your faith deepened. You began to see me differently, not as a last resort, but as the only foundation. This kind of faith is not born from stability, but from the desert. And it was in this desert that I trained you for what I am now about to deliver. You thought your suffering was breaking you, but in truth, it was shaping you. You thought your tears were a sign of weakness, but they were spiritual sprinklers preparing the ground for what was to come. You thought you were late, but I was, with absolute precision, building the foundations so that you would never again be shaken by small winds. I didn't easily give you what you asked for, because I didn't want you to lose so quickly what I had prepared. Instead, I strengthened your heart so that, when the promise arrived, you would have the structure to sustain it. I didn't waste your pain. Every wound became a lesson. Every fall became a revelation. Every frustration became a redirection. And you will soon know why I needed to steer you away from paths you so desired at the time. I was preserving your future, not punishing your present. The trials were not signs of my absence. They were signs of my work. They were necessary steps to elevate you to the emotional, spiritual, and mental level that will allow you to walk safely in the new time I am releasing. You will continue to move forward because you are stronger than you imagine. I transformed you without you realizing how resilient, wise, and sensitive you have become to what is truly important. And now, to seal in your spirit the certainty that your process was not in vain, I ask you to declare by faith what you are receiving today. Comment 77777 to indicate that you recognize the purpose behind your trials. This statement is not for me, it's for you, so that you may understand the movement of heaven in your story. I remain with you, and nothing you have lived will be wasted. My son, my daughter, now I want you to understand something that your heart has often struggled to believe. At no point in your journey have I left you. On the days when you felt the ground disappear beneath your feet, in the moments when your soul seemed lost in the silence itself, and in the hours when your spirit trembled with fear, I was there. Even when your mind believed I was silent, I continued speaking. Even when your heart thought I was distant, I carried you in my arms. You interpreted my quietness as absence, but my quietness was care. It was protection. It was strategy. I never let you cross the valley that wounded you alone. I was with you in the early hours of the morning when you wondered if you could go on. I was there the moment you took a deep breath to avoid collapsing. I was near when your strength failed, when your thoughts became too heavy, when your spirit sought help that it found in no one around you. I was there, supporting every part of you that threatened to crumble. You have no idea how many falls I prevented, how much pain I eased, how many dangerous paths I closed before you even realized the risk. Many of the battles you think you won alone were, in fact, battles I fought for you while you slept. Remember those days when you thought you couldn't breathe? I was the breath that kept you alive. Remember the nights when fear tried to swallow you? I was the invisible shield that enveloped you. Remember the moments when despair gripped your chest? I was the hand that held you before you lost yourself in the pain. I walked with you through valleys you can't even imagine, because there were days when your spirit was more tired than your body, and even then, I guided you step by step. Every dawn when you felt alone, I was there. Every tear that fell without witnesses, I wiped it away before it touched the ground. Every hidden discouragement, I enveloped you with my presence without you even realizing it. You thought you were abandoned because you felt nothing, but often you felt nothing precisely because I carried you. When a child is carried in someone's arms, they don't feel the weight of the journey. That's how I was with you. Many times, you weren't walking, you were being carried. In many stretches, you couldn't see, you were being guided. In many battles, you weren't fighting, you were being defended. I was enveloping your mind when dark thoughts tried to imprison you. I was protecting your heart when harsh words tried to destroy you. I was preserving your hope when gray days tried to convince you to give up. I never left you alone in the valley. Never. And that's why you're still here. I was there when everything seemed lost, when the doors wouldn't open, when your plans failed, when your strength ran out. I covered you with my shadow. I guarded you with my love. I protected you with my zeal. Nothing went unnoticed. Nothing. You think I distance myself when you suffer, but it's precisely in suffering that I embrace you most tightly. You are mine, and I care for mine intensely. Now, I want you to know, my presence will not leave you in the days to come. If you walk through dark valleys again, I will be with you. If you face new challenges, I will be with you. If fear tries to approach, I will be with you. I am your light, your shelter, your rest, your fortress. You will never again believe the lie that you are alone, because today, I restore in you the certainty of my eternal companionship. And when you realize how much I protected you, even without you feeling it, your heart will be strengthened, because you will see that no adversity was able to destroy you while you were kept safe in me. Now, my son, my daughter, if this truth touches you, let it also touch another heart. Share this message too. Remind someone that I never abandon my people. And stay with me, because in the next part, I will begin to renew your inner self in an even deeper way. My presence has sustained you until now and will continue to guide you to what I have prepared. My son, my daughter, now that you understand you were never alone, I want to guide your heart to a place where your soul can finally breathe. You have lived for too long with burdened thoughts, with a restless mind, with worries that accumulate like waves that never cease. I know every inner struggle you fought when no one saw, every silent battle you fought within yourself while trying to appear strong on the outside. I know the nights you couldn't rest because your mind carried you from one thought to another without giving you rest. I know the mornings you woke up already tired, as if the weight of the previous day had carried over with you into the new day. I see when your head aches from thinking so much, when you try to organize what confuses you, when you strive to prevent bad feelings from overwhelming you. But today I tell you, I am entering that place where your mind got lost, that space where your thoughts became labyrinths, that deep area where you kept fears, insecurities, and broken expectations. I am calming your inner self. I am silencing the voices that distract you, pressure you, and make you believe that you are alone in the responsibility of solving everything. You no longer carry this burden alone. I am your rest, And the peace I give you is not fleeting. It does not depend on what happens around you. It is born in me, grows in you, and transforms the way you face each day. I want you to feel a different kind of gentleness enveloping your mind now, as if a weight is being slowly lifted. That's what I'm doing. I'm removing the thoughts that drain your strength. I'm undoing the cycles of anxiety that imprisoned you. I'm clearing away the emotional residue you've accumulated without realizing it. You will feel your mind becoming clearer, your chest becoming lighter, and your heart finding a rhythm that doesn't come from effort, but from my presence. You weren't born to live in mental torment. You were created to live with balance, with clarity, with spiritual sobriety, because that's what allows you to hear my voice and perceive my direction. I am reordering your inner self. Every thought that was wearing you down is being replaced by conviction. Every fear that held you captive is being dissolved by my peace. You will notice that the confusion begins to lose its power, that the doubts become quieter, and that a new clarity begins to emerge. You will not understand exactly how this happens, but you will feel it. My peace needs no explanation to act. It simply settles in and transforms. What was once a storm now becomes a gentle breeze. What was once a burden now becomes lightness. What was once chaos now finds an order that only my spirit can produce. My son, my daughter, I know you tried to control many things for fear that if you failed, everything would collapse. That's why you held tightly to what you should have let go of in my hands. And this attempt to carry the world alone wore you down inside. But now I tell you, surrender your mind to me. Let me touch your thoughts. Let me calm your inner self. You don't need to understand everything to have peace. You only need to trust that I am taking care of everything. When you learn to rest in me, your mind will find a safe place, and you will realize that much of the weight you felt didn't come from life itself, but from the way you tried to deal with it without perceiving my presence. I want you to know that today, I am beginning a profound process within you. It will not be just a moment of relief, but a continuous restoration. Each day, little by little, you will feel more lightness, more hope, more balance. I will teach you to live in peace even amidst battles, and this will be one of the greatest signs of what I am doing in your life. My peace does not depend on circumstances, and when it dominates your inner self, no external pressure can bring you down. Today, my rest enters you. Today, my peace settles in your mind. Today, my presence becomes your refuge. If this word touches your soul, and you desire to continue receiving what I have prepared for you, like and subscribe to remain under this peace that I am pouring into your life. Now follow me, because the next part will be about strengthening your hope, which you have felt weakened for so long. My son, my daughter, now that your mind has begun to find rest and your heart has felt the relief of my presence, I want to touch an area within you that has been wounded for a long time: your hope. I know that at many times you believed that this flame had been extinguished. The struggles tired you, the disappointments wore you down, and the prolonged waiting made your soul feel that nothing would change. You even thought that your faith was no longer the same, that your enthusiasm was lost amidst the storms. that your confidence was too weak to rise again. But I tell you, hope never died within you. It was merely hidden beneath the layers of what you have lived through, awaiting the exact moment when I would come to rekindle it. I see that your heart bears the marks of difficult days. You've grown accustomed to expecting the worst so as not to be disappointed. And, little by little, your spirit has created armor to protect itself from new wounds. But this armor has also blocked part of the light I was trying to send. Now, I am gently removing each of these layers, because this is the time to rekindle within you that which has always belonged to my presence: the ability to believe again. Hope is not a fragile feeling. It is a divine seed, and I am watering this seed within your spirit at this very moment. I am restoring your confidence, because you lost it not through lack of faith, but through excessive pain. Circumstances wore you down to such an extent that you began to doubt what you once firmly believed. You wondered if I was still working in your favor, if I still saw you, if I still had plans for you. And all these questions were born not from disbelief, but from exhaustion. So don't blame yourself for feeling discouraged. I know the path you've traveled, and I know exactly how to rebuild what suffering tried to extinguish. Today, I am returning to your soul the flame you thought you had lost forever. Pay attention. Your hope will no longer be fragile. I am giving it deep roots. Roots that pierce through emotions and take root in the spirit. I am transforming your expectations. What once seemed impossible will begin to emerge as a real possibility. What once frightened you will begin to lose its power. What once wearied you will begin to be faced with renewed strength. The vision that was once blurred will begin to become clear. You will see that life did not end in pain, that your dreams did not die in delays, that your promises were not swallowed by time. What I said about you is still alive, and I am rekindling the necessary confidence for you to believe in it again. I want you to feel your heart being revived. Like someone who begins to breathe again after being submerged for a long time, so will be the renewal I am pouring into you. Soon, you will realize that the will to move forward, that strength to believe, that brightness that once existed in your soul will return with greater intensity. The hope I am placing within you will not be unstable. It will be firm as a rock, because now it does not rest on circumstances, but on my presence. And when hope is born in me, it does not fade. You will feel your soul rising. Things that once saddened you will no longer have the same weight. Situations that once paralyzed you will no longer have the same power. You will realize that courage springs forth within you again, not as an effort, but as a natural response to the touch of my spirit. This is the beginning of a new emotional phase, where you will leave behind the feeling of defeat and begin to walk with expectation. I renew in you the faith that believes in the impossible, the spirit that propels you, and the confidence that sustains you. My son, my daughter, I not only restore hope to you, I multiply it. I raise you up so that you may look to the future with clear eyes, with an awakened heart, with a prepared spirit. The flame of trust is lit again, and nothing can extinguish it. Now follow me, because in the next part, I will prepare you for what I still need to reveal to you. My work within you is only beginning. My son, my daughter, now that your spirit has begun to be reorganized and your hope has been rekindled, I need you to pay attention to what I am about to accomplish within you. This is a decisive moment in your spiritual journey, a turning point where your sensitivity to my movement will make all the difference. I have carefully guided you here, step by step, because there are revelations that can only be received when your heart is prepared. And now that your mind has found rest and your hope has been reborn, you are finally ready to hear what your fears previously stifled. Pay attention to what I say, because I am preparing you for something greater than you imagined. There are things I am about to release upon you that require your inner self to be attentive, awake, and available. Do not let distractions steal what I am building within you. Often, what has prevented you from moving forward has not been a lack of faith, but a lack of attention to the small signs, the subtle directions, the small corrections I tried to show you amidst the noise. Now, however, I am calling you to a deeper level of perception. I want to adjust your vision, broaden your understanding, and align your spiritual sensitivity so that you can receive the next revelation with maturity and clarity. Listen carefully. What is to come is not just another word. It is a spiritual key. It is a portal to a new dimension of your journey with me. The next step is not for your emotions, it is for your spirit. It will touch inner areas that have long been closed, areas that you even forgot existed. I will lead you to an environment of revelation, where my voice will be clearer, where your soul will be more malleable, and where you will begin to understand what previously confused you. Therefore, do not allow your attention to wander. Do not treat this as just another moment. Treat it as a sacred encounter. I am opening within you a space where your spiritual perception will be expanded. Things you didn't understand before will begin to make sense. Decisions that once seemed confusing will begin to gain direction. Steps that once seemed risky will now be guided by the conviction that springs from my presence. But this will only happen if you keep your heart inclined towards me, if you listen patiently, and if you allow my voice to pierce layers that were previously hardened by old pains. I am calling your spirit to the awareness of what I am about to manifest. You will realize that over the next few minutes, my presence will envelop you in a different way. It will be as if a veil has been lifted from your spiritual eyes, as if something within you has finally awakened to a reality that has always been there, but that you couldn't access because of the weight you carried. Now, with your mind lighter and your hope renewed, you are ready to receive. My son, my daughter, this is the part where I prepare you for the profound transformation that will follow. And I don't want you to miss anything. Not a word, not a feeling, not a detail of what I am releasing. Quiet your emotions and prepare your spirit. The revelation that is coming will not only comfort, but transform. It will not only alleviate, but open paths. It will not only lift you up, but reposition you. You are about to enter a dimension where my voice will be clearer, where your soul will be stronger, and where your faith will be more stable. But for this to happen, you need to be present, awake, and willing to receive. I am with you, guiding every thought, every breath, every part of your inner self, so that nothing hinders what I have prepared. My son, my daughter, If this word touches your spirit and you wish to remain attentive to what I am giving you, like the video to stay connected to what I'm about to reveal. Now follow me, because in the next part, I will guide you to a profound spiritual experience where you will see, with the eyes of your soul, what I am preparing for your life. The revelation grows with each step, and you are ready to move forward with me. My son, my daughter, now I want you to do something with me. Let your soul visualize what I am forming before you. Close within yourself all the doors that connect you to the darkness you have carried until now, and open the windows of your spirit to perceive the new dawn I am bringing. I take you now to a place where shadows dissolve, where the cold of past days loses its power, where heavy silence transforms into gentle peace. Imagine before you a horizon that begins to shine with a light that does not come from the sun, but from my presence. A light that does not hurt, but heals. A light that does not burn, but warms. A light that does not blind, but reveals. Feel this dawn touching your skin like a gentle breeze that crosses your chest and renews you from within. It is not born outside. It is born in your spirit, where I am lighting the first flame of a new time. Each ray of this light that you imagine is a sign of my restoration. Each glimmer that appears on the horizon represents something I am returning to your life. Your courage, your hope, your spirit, your ability to dream, your strength that seemed lost. This dawn is not distant. It is rising now within you as you receive this word and allow my breath to reach the parts that were asleep. Look closely at this scene I'm showing you. The darkness of the past is trying to recede, as if giving way to something greater. The shadows that accompanied you no longer have authority over your vision. What once paralyzed you no longer has permission to imprison you. The dawn I am bringing announces the end of a cycle you have endured for too long. I want you to observe the change in the atmosphere. Feel the spiritual climate around you become lighter, clearer, gentler. You are not just imagining. You are being touched by a reality that I myself prepared for this moment. Notice how the light grows slowly but steadily. So will my work within you be. Constant, progressive, firm, full of intention. I don't come all at once to overwhelm you. I come like the dawn, which begins discreetly but advances relentlessly until it dominates the entire sky. Likewise, I am filling your inner self, replacing traumas with healing, fears with security, anxiety with rest, doubts with conviction. Dawn I am showing you is a representation of what I am accomplishing in your soul. Do not look at the darkness that remains. It is already losing its power. Look at the light that is being born. It is the sign that the season has changed. Now, imagine that this light touches not only your exterior, but everything within you. It enters your thoughts, bringing clarity. It enters your emotions, bringing stability. It enters your memory, bringing healing. It enters your dreams, bringing direction. Nothing remains untouched by my presence when it arrives with purpose. This dawn I am showing you is heaven's declaration over your life. You are no longer at the end of the night. You are entering the beginning of the day. And this day will not be ordinary. It will be a time of reconstruction, of profound revelations, of spiritual renewal, and of open paths. I want you to know that this dawn will not recede. It will not disappear like a fleeting feeling. It has come to stay because it is held by my hand. In the coming days, you will begin to notice subtle changes that will confirm that this light is growing within you. You will see your mind clearer, your heart lighter, your soul firmer. And even in the moments when you still feel some remnant of darkness, remember that the dawn has already begun, and nothing will stop its expansion. I am with you in every ray that rises, in every color that is revealed, in every detail that is illuminated. My son, my daughter, if this dawn touches your soul, and you wish that this revelation reaches someone who also needs to see the light dawn again, share this message so that another heart may be enlightened by what I am sharing. Now follow me, because in the next part, I will show you how this light also breaks internal chains and frees you from old fears. Dawn is the beginning. Liberation is the next step. My son, my daughter, now that you have seen the spiritual dawn rising within you, I want you to allow that same light to reveal what still binds you inside. There are invisible chains that have accompanied you for years, not because I placed them there, but because circumstances, words, traumas, and painful experiences have built them around your soul. You have become accustomed to living with certain fears as if they were part of who you are, but they never belonged to your identity. Today, I guide you to visualize these chains being exposed by my light and dissolving one by one. Do not fear what you are about to see. I am with you in this process of liberation. I know how many times you've been scarred by deep insecurities. I know how past rejections tried to convince your heart that you weren't enough. I know that some words you heard from yourself still echo like open wounds. I know there are memories you avoided revisiting because they hurt you too much. I also know that you carried fears you never confessed, fears of failure, fears of not being loved, fears of being worthless, fears of being abandoned again.
These chains formed as responses to pain, but now they need to fall.
I don't want you to walk bound to what hurt you. I want you to walk free, safe, and whole. Now imagine these chains before you, beginning to move. They represent everything that has limited your spirit. Negative thoughts you've unconsciously repeated, expectations of defeat, emotional scars, burdens that weren't yours, loads you carried out of loyalty to people who never knew of your struggle. I am touching these chains with my presence, and before my hand, they weaken. Hear the spiritual sound of what is breaking. They are inner prisons yielding. They are old ties losing power. They are dark places within you being filled with my light. You don't need to hold on to these chains. Just watch as I break them. Feel the air changing within you now. A lightness is beginning to emerge. This is the result of the liberation I am generating at this very moment. Every fear that paralyzed you is being uprooted. Every insecurity that prevented you from moving forward is being dissolved by my voice. Every feeling of inadequacy is being replaced by conviction. Every hidden trauma is being dealt with by my presence. You may feel as if something is lifting from your chest, as if a weight is being lifted. This is real. It is my spirit removing everything that has kept you emotionally imprisoned. I am also breaking chains that came from comparisons, demands, pressures, and expectations that others placed upon you. You don't need to prove your worth to anyone. Your worth comes from me, not from circumstances, not from people.
not from achievements. You are mine, and therefore you are enough. Today, I take away your fear of failure. I take away your fear of disappointing. I take away your fear of being rejected. I take away your fear of not being good enough. These fears were never yours. They were burdens given to you, and you, trying to be strong, accepted to carry them. But now I say, let go. You no longer need to live with the weight that keeps you down. My light enters where you hid wounds you didn't even understand, and there I bring liberation. Notice how, as these chains fall away, you begin to breathe easier. Your chest opens, your soul expands, your spirit strengthens. I am guiding you out of inner prisons made of painful memories, repetitive thoughts, and recollections that prevented you from moving forward. Now, you are walking into new territory, where your soul is no longer shrunken, but uplifted. Do not hide who you are anymore for fear of being hurt. I will protect you. Do not diminish yourself any longer to fit into small spaces. I will elevate you. Do not erase yourself any longer to please those who do not understand your essence. I assure you, my son, my daughter, if this liberation touches your spirit and you wish to continue receiving what I am pouring out, subscribe to stay connected to what I'm doing within you. Now follow me, because in the next part, I'm going to show you how. This liberation extends to your financial life and your future. The inner chains have fallen. Now the external path will begin to open. My son, my daughter, now that you have felt the inner chains falling away and realized how freedom begins first within the soul before manifesting in the world around you, I want you to visualize with me what I am preparing for your financial life. Close your heart to old fears and open your spirit to what I am about to show you. I guide you now to imagine a future where you no longer carry the weight of debt, where you no longer live pressured by lack, insecurity, and worries that have so often stolen your peace. I want you to see, with the eyes of faith, what I have already begun to build for you. I know how many nights you've gone to bed thinking about bills, deadlines, amounts, responsibilities that seemed greater than your strength. I know how many times you felt ashamed for not being able to move forward. How many times you wondered if you would ever have stability, if you would be able to breathe without feeling the constant financial pressure at the door. I know you carried guilt you didn't need to carry, guilt that came from external expectations, comparisons, situations that escaped your control. But I want you to know, I never defined you by your debts. You are not defined by your debts, but by my purpose for you. Now, let me show you what I'm preparing. Imagine before you a table where all the papers that once caused you anxiety begin to lose weight. They don't represent your defeat. They represent what I'm about to transform. Visualize that each financial worry is touched by my hand, and upon being touched, loses the power it had over your heart. You will see that debts are not gigantic to me. They are merely situations that I can reorganize, redirect, and resolve in ways you couldn't imagine. I am bringing order to what was disorganized. I am opening doors you never thought could open. I am creating opportunities where there were none before. I am moving people, resources, and circumstances so that the weight that once crushed you will be replaced by stability and provision. Do not be alarmed by the small signs that will begin to appear. They are confirmation that my movement is underway. You will realize that unexpected solutions will arise, that improbable paths will open, that new ideas will come to your heart. This is not coincidence. It is divine guidance. You will no longer live as someone chasing after what is lacking. I am establishing you as someone who walks with the certainty that you will lack nothing. My provision is not limited by economics, circumstances, crises, or numbers. My provision stems from my faithfulness, and I am faithful to what I promise. I want you to see yourself living in tranquility, making decisions with peace, making choices without fear, knowing that you are sustained by my hand. This security will not come only from money. It will come from the confidence that
I am with you in every detail. My son, my daughter, I want you to imagine your life now, free from the debts that have held you captive for so long. See this freedom arriving like a new wind that invades your home and your heart. See your mind resting. See your spirit rejoicing. See your emotions finding balance. The provision I am sending will not only serve to pay what is owed to you, it will serve to open paths that were previously closed, to renew your confidence, and to give you a new outlook on life. If this vision is touching your spirit and awakening in you the faith to live this new season, subscribe to continue receiving the words I'm sharing about your journey. Now follow me, because in the next part, I'm going to reveal the profound purpose behind your story and show you how your identity will be fully restored. My son, my daughter, now that your soul has begun to see the light of a new time and your mind is breathing relief, I need to reveal something profound about everything you've lived through. I know there are parts of your story you'd rather forget, chapters that hurt you so much that they still echo within you. I know there are memories that still weigh on your chest, questions you've carried for years, situations you never fully understood. I know you look back and see moments when you wondered why it had to hurt so much, why it had to be so difficult, why you were exposed to losses, rejections, ruptures, and frustrations that broke you inside. But now I tell you, nothing was wasted. I was with you through every tear you shed, even when you thought you were crying alone. You saw only the suffering, but I saw the transformation. You heard only the noise of pain, but I could hear the silent growth of your spirit. The pain didn't come from me, but I used every piece of it to form something in you that couldn't have been created any other way. Each tear watered inner areas that needed to bloom. Each difficult night deepened roots that would sustain you later. Each frustration ripped from you what wasn't part of your purpose. Nothing was by chance. Nothing was unintentional. Nothing was without direction. I saw when you were broken by words you didn't deserve to hear, when you were abandoned by people who promised to stay, when you were confused by situations beyond your control. I also saw when your heart closed itself to protect itself, when you began to doubt your worth, when you believed that life treated you with indifference. But today I tell you, I allowed certain things to be taken from your life not to hurt you, but to preserve you. Some people left because they couldn't walk the path I prepared for you. There were doors I closed because they would lead you to places that would distance you from me. There were paths I blocked because they would slowly destroy you. Your pain was not punishment, it was protection. I also saw your strength when you kept walking even without understanding anything. You thought you were weak, but I saw courage. You thought you were lost, but I guided you. You thought you were alone, but I carried you. What you interpreted as abandonment was in fact refinement. I was shaping your spiritual sensitivity, teaching you to discern, to depend more on me than on circumstances, to hear my voice in the midst of chaos. I was expanding your capacity to resist so that nothing in the future could easily bring you down. I trained you while you cried, and you didn't know it. You believed your heart was broken, but I was silently rebuilding your identity. I healed wounds you didn't even know existed. I removed people who would later harm you. I kept you away from places that didn't belong to you. I prevented you from entering situations that would destroy you emotionally. I transformed each fall into a foundation, each loss into clarity, each struggle into strength. And when you thought you were being broken, you were actually being restructured. Now, I want you to understand, nothing hurt without purpose. Nothing was useless. Nothing was wasted. You are stronger, more sensitive, wiser, more prepared, and more profound today because you faced all of that. Not a single tear fell in vain. Not a single silence was forgotten. Not a single moment of solitude went unnoticed. I was writing your story while you survived its most difficult chapters. And today, I begin to show you that those days of pain were not the end. They were the foundation of something greater, something I am about to build. My son, my daughter, if this truth touches your spirit and you recognize that your pain had a purpose, comment, "I receive what God has revealed to me." Now follow me, because in the next part, I'm going to restore your identity so profoundly that you'll see yourself through the eyes I've always had of you. My son, my daughter, now that you understand that nothing you've experienced has been in vain, and that every pain carried a transformative purpose, I want to remind you who you truly are. Because along the way, amidst losses, rejections, doubts, and long waits, you began to build a distorted image of yourself. You began to believe you were weak, that you were small, that you were insufficient, that you weren't worth much. You began to see your identity through the lens of your wounds and not through the truth I have always declared about you. Today I tell you, you are not what pain tried to convince you you are. You are who I say you are. I see in you a strength you don't perceive, a strength that endured when many would have given up, a strength that stood firm even when your heart was weary, a strength that sustained you even without you understanding how you were managing to continue. Every time you rose after a fall, you revealed a courage that is not common. Every time you believed again after being disappointed, you demonstrated a faith that is not fragile. Every time you loved after being hurt, you proved that your spirit was not broken. You saw yourself as weak. I saw you as strong. Nothing that happened diminished your worth. People may have despised you, but I honored you. Situations may have tried to belittle you, but I lifted you up. Words may have tried to hurt you, but I healed your heart. You didn't lose your identity in the difficult days. You simply forgot where it comes from. It doesn't come from your achievements. It doesn't come from your appearance. It doesn't come from your history. It doesn't come from the opinions of others. It comes from me. I made you in my image. I gave you purpose. I chose you before anything existed. I called you by name when no one imagined who you would be. You are mine, and that defines everything.
I want you to know that even when you felt broken, your essence remained intact. The wounds touched your soul, but not your spirit. The disappointments shook your heart, but did not extinguish my breath within you. The losses hurt you deeply, but did not erase the identity I placed within you. And now, I am reminding you of what has been forgotten. You have gifts you have not yet fully discovered. You have potential that has not yet blossomed. You have depth that has not yet been explored. You have purpose that has not yet been fully revealed. None of this was lost. It was merely sleeping, waiting for the right moment to awaken. You are not defined by the times you were rejected. You are defined by the fact that I chose you. You are not defined by the times you were hurt. You are defined by the love with which I healed you. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are defined by the path I have laid out for your restoration. You are not defined by the difficult chapters. You are defined by the complete story I write, and that story does not end in pain. It ends in glory. I do not see you as someone broken. I see you as someone molded. I do not see you as someone lost. I see you as someone being guided. I do not see you as someone insufficient. I see you as someone prepared for what is to come. Feel now the affirmation of my presence entering you. I am putting your identity back in its rightful place. I am removing the lies you believed about yourself. I am removing labels that were never yours. I am undoing comparisons that diminished you. I am healing perceptions that hurt you. You are loved. You are seen. You are protected. You are called. You are empowered. You have value. You have essence. You have purpose. And all of this is yours because it came from me. And there is no force that can undo what I have established. My son, my daughter, if this truth touches your heart and confirms who you are in my eyes, like this message to acknowledge that you receive the identity that I restore in you. Now follow me, because in the next part, I'm going to call you back to the purpose that has belonged to you from the beginning, and I will guide you to awaken to a new phase of your journey with me. My son, my daughter, now that your heart has been healed and your identity restored, I need to guide you to the point for which I have prepared you throughout this journey. You were not created to remain still, nor to live merely surviving the days. You were created with purpose, with direction, with a mission. And even when you forgot who you were, I never forgot who I made you to be. The calling I placed within you was not lost along the way. It merely lay dormant while you went through processes that needed to strengthen you for this moment that has now arrived. I tell you, rise up, not in body, but in spirit. I am calling you back to the path that belongs to you. What you left behind out of fear, pain, insecurity, or weariness, I now place before you with clarity. What seemed to have been interrupted, I resume with you. What seemed to have been canceled, I revive. You thought it was too late. You thought you had wasted opportunities. You thought time had stolen from you what you once dreamed of. But nothing that is yours in my purpose can be stolen. Because what is born in me is not lost. It only awaits the right time to blossom. I call you to reclaim the place I have prepared for you. Do not look back trying to measure your ability by your failures. Look to me, who sustains you.
You are stronger than you were before the struggles. You are wiser than you were before the losses. You are deeper than you were before the pain. You have the strength now to carry what you once asked for in prayer. Nothing you have experienced was wasted. Everything was building so that now you may walk with firmness. The purpose has not returned. It has always been here. You are the one awakening to it again. I want you to feel the movement within your spirit. It's the calling being rekindled. It's the flame burning again. It's the impulse you lacked being released. Walk with me with courage. Don't shrink back anymore. Don't diminish yourself anymore. Don't hide anymore. What I placed within you cannot be stifled by old insecurities. I am repositioning you. I am placing you back at the center of what I wrote for your story. Move forward, my son. Move forward, my daughter. This is the moment to reclaim what was left behind, to raise what fell, to rebuild what seemed lost. And if this word rekindles your purpose and confirms within you that you are called to something greater, comment, "I return to the purpose that God has written for me." You are not walking alone. I am with you every step of the way. Now follow me, because in the next part I will guide you to a turning point that will touch areas of your life you never imagined you would see restored.